gnéis agus cultúrtha. Sinn Féin advocates the right to social, economic, gender and cultural equality. This encompasses equality for all, irrespective of race, age, marital or family status, sexual orientation, physical or mental capacities, ethnicity, social origin, political or religious affiliations. Creating the conditions for establishing an equal society means recognising the many diverse groups and sections of Irish society that need protection from the state. We must tackle the trend to blame a person or group for their exclusion from society. Irish Republicans are only too aware of what it means to be treated as second-class citizens. Our politics are the result of decades of resistance to marginalisation and discrimination. There were demonstrations held last night in Belfast and Derry, organised by the National Union of Students and the Union of Students of Ireland. I was at the Belfast event. It is fitting that it was held at City Hall, the first council in Ireland to pass a motion in favour of equal marriage, proposed by Sinn Féin councillor Mary Ellen Campbell. I want to pay tribute to the National Union of Students and the Union of Students of Ireland, to Rainbow, to Cara Friend, to Amnesty International, to the Equality and Human Rights Commissions for their very strong stand on this important issue. They all deserve credit because it is a brave thing to do, to stand up for your rights, loudly and proudly. What struck me about last night was the number of young people who speak out on this important issue. My Shiv, well done, leading from the front. Those young people come from all communities, from all political and religious beliefs and all affiliations. But what unites them is a strong belief that enough is enough. They instinctively understand the damaging effects the gay bashing has, the inequality and discrimination has on the LGBT and T community. And attitudes are changing all over Ireland, all over England, all over Scotland, all over Wales and all over Europe and throughout the world. In some ways, it reminds me of how attitudes changed in a very short period of time round the issue of unplanned pregnancy. Women and girls who became pregnant were expected to hide, give their babies up for adoption, travel abroad, and on many occasions never come back to this country, traumatised and in some cases searching the globe across a lifetime for their children. But a previous generation of women and men, led by feminists, were not willing to allow the criminalisation of women to continue, and the criminalisation of those little babies. It takes courage for our LGBT and T communities, because in the past, the North was synonymous with the Never, Never, Never Brigade, embodied by the DUP. The DUP were against the decriminalisation of homosexuality. They were against civil partnership. They're now against equal marriage. They're against gay people adopting. They're against people from the gay community donating blood. Against. What are they for? It takes courage for the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgendered community, because the fear of rejection by your family is probably the biggest fear of all. It also takes courage because a gay couple know only too well how scary it is in the dark of night that a brick might come in through the window. It takes courage because hate crime is on the rise. And I would urge every single politician in this House to ensure that their words and actions do not fan the flames of hate crime. Do not wring your hands and say you are against violence if your words are the words ringing in the ears of the person throwing the brick in through the window, because you are as guilty as they are. Let's just examine some of the arguments used against marriage equality. Let's just examine them. We shouldn't be wasting public money debating the issue. It's a gimmick. We shouldn't be threatening family values. We shouldn't be redefining marriage. They have civil partnerships. Why do they want marriage? It denies the right to religious belief. Sinn Féin are using it to gain votes. Sinn Féin will lose votes because they're bringing it forward. And then we have the wild nonsense peddled about around incest and polygamy. And I note the person saying it isn't in the House today. I want to take each of these in turn and respond to them. Wasting public money. This debate and the two other debates we had in this Assembly during this term are not a waste of time or money. Equality is a matter of public interest. The mental and physical health issues of the LGBT community, discriminating against a community and constantly bombarding them with negative messages takes its toll. And despite the strength, the resilience and courage shown by that community, it impacts on them. And that is why there are higher rates of suicide and self-harm. Is anyone telling me suicide and self-harm is not an issue of public interest? The No Men are using the gimmick argument to try and stop the debate. They're not so worried about wasting public money, and their Minister, Mr Poots, has no problem wasting public money, £48,149 to date, appealing against decisions in the High Court re-adoption and Supreme Court, and £37,112 on the lifetime ban on blood donations, and I expect those costs to rise. Threatening family values. Same arguments were used to justify the laundries, packing the women away to the laundries so family values wouldn't be threatened, and adoption practices in the past. What threatens family values is discrimination against some members and children in families. Threatening the institution of marriage. Where did we hear this before? The apartheid regime to justify why white and black cannot marry. Enough said. They have civil partnership now, they want more. Yes, the LGBT community are entitled to full equality, and it is the state's duty to legislate for that. It denies the right to religious belief. I will.
The member is seeking equality, marriage equality, for the gay, lesbian and bisexual community. How is she going to achieve marriage equality for bisexuals in Northern Ireland? Well,
what we need is equality for the LGBT and T communities. In relation to religious belief, Sinn Féin motion specifically includes, and I quote from the motion, supports freedom of religion by allowing religious institutions to define, observe and practice marriage according to their beliefs, granting them the freedom whether or not to conduct same-sex marriages. End of quote. We are not here to legislate according to our consciences. We are here to legislate on the basis of equality. I want to thank the Catholic and Presbyterian churches for sending letters lobbying us to vote against this, as is their right to do. And I would encourage them to engage with us and the LGBT community on this important issue. I am not even going to waste time dealing with the offensive claims made by a member of this House on the media yesterday around polygamy and incest. What I would say is well and truly fanning the flames. We now have marriage equality in South Africa, in Belgium, in Denmark, in France, in Iceland, in Netherlands, in Norway, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Argentina, some parts of Mexico and the United States of America, Uruguay, Canada, New Zealand, England and Wales. We will soon have it in the south of Ireland. We will also have it here in the north of Ireland. The best way would be for this House to legislate for it. But failing that, I have no doubt that the LGBT and T communities will continue to legally challenge discriminatory decisions in local and international courts. And why wouldn't they? Lan ar ai.